I always look forward to Sunday now. Getting to watch a bit more Mushoku Tensei, seeing the life of Rudy and how he's trying to get through this world, especially after suffering through so much previously, gives hope to everyone. Or maybe just me. Might be speaking out of turn here. But one thing I do know is that in a world filled with monsters and adventure, having a story stop off for a while, settle down, get a house and a wife, surprisingly warranted and needed, I think. And especially after what we've seen before with his sisters and making up with them, and there really are ways out of the spiral of depression and despair. Quite a lot to latch onto, and to give praise when warranted. So, what other character traits are going to be brought out that are going to shame me for how I've acted? We'll have to see. So, strap in, get a drink. Let's begin. I wonder if he's going to be charging down the halls anytime soon. There was a falter. She thought about it for a second. But yeah, I wonder if he'll be charging down the halls again anytime soon. So she knows about Richard's. How much did he let slip on their journey together? You try and get the stigma against them erased in this world. Just go for an epic. I mean, the problem is, if you've got so much discrimination against them anyway, would anyone read a epic trilogy story of a race of people that they're terrified of? Every good book starts with a sentence. She is diving in on this one. Wants to also thank him for the time that they spent together and getting her here safely. But also, Richard has been a good impression for her. I just want these days to continue for a little while longer. I know I've been mentioning adventure and finding the mother and things like that, but if just a week or two, some more time with Sylvie will not go unwarranted. But if the OP is something to go by, having Rudy join up with his father and other members to reclaim lost people, that could be a very interesting storyline. I do like how all of the rooms are quite dark still, because they're relying on candlelight. And possibly magic if needed, but... anything on your mind? Anything at all? If she's feeling a little left out. That makes sense, actually. She's not doing this for free anymore. Huh. Fair enough. Because, I mean, in a house like they have, why would a little gardening be a bad thing? I mean, she's really pulling on the strings there, isn't she? Getting exactly what she can out of it. Good boy. How many times are we going to cut back to those kind of puppy dog eyes? Much like how good she is dealing with Rudy, how's her haggling capabilities? We'll put in a good word with the princess. Fuck's sake. I guess I can give you 10% off. This isn't about needing money. I mean, wouldn't they want to swap bags? Wouldn't it be easier for him to carry all of that? Can she even see in front of her with all the... Why is she sliding back? I guess a little furnishing is allowed. We've gone organic, non-organic with the plastic. Let's go, yeah, organic. Start with flora before fauna. Or in the middle of the ocean. Or in the middle of space if the planets are still moving around. Hopefully, in the experimentation, you don't bring along someone else as well. Lamplight spirits. So what, you just summon them again and keep doing it? Wow, that is a... Japanese! That is a good grab for him. The magic circle, not even the... Fair reaction, actually. Now she has to just make sure not to drop it or damage it in any way. It is a fairly good figure, and true. How much does he actually care for his student? I see. So, getting to know a bit more of the side characters and background and everything here. Getting to know... I see. So she's taking this duty with gusto. He needs all the looking after that she could possibly give him. I guess she knows his interests and where they lay. He's actually found a way through with Elenis. So you've got a... What is it? a chastity belt, essentially. So it won't allow her to be... Oh, I see. I thought it would drain her constantly, so it wouldn't be able to be much use of as an adventurer. But if Rudy can, power it, charge it up. Make sure there's battery storage is good enough. That he has. I mean, compared to a lot of people out there, he has been quite fortunate recently. And though there hasn't been massive strides in a lot of it, seeing the slow progression, like with the figurines, like with the magic circles. Lucky bastard. A rather stern expression. What exactly does it... Cold feet... that there was quite some big news for him. As he was just stating in his little monologue there, having a life that he couldn't possibly have imagined before. A little early for that, isn't it? I'm not sure there'll be much, but a life that he couldn't have possibly imagined before, and now his wife and possibly child? One of the rare stories where, like, the childhood friend wins. Thank you. There are worse ways of expressing how he feels. I think to have a new lease of life, a second chance, and that is... That's not a, like, handsome crying face that he... Hands? He's probably going to need to be reminded a few times. And good thing this news came after he made up with Norn and figured all that out with her. Oh, okay. Well, thanks to Cliff, hopefully something about that will be... The rest of your circle have been informed. Nice. She is very reliable. Yeah, hopefully Cliff will come through with his... research. Especially remember when they split them up, sent Rudy off to get some education. But in that respect, he'll have to meet up with his father, tell him everything, and save the mother. What's the... Now, why are we stunning back out? Great, so after some good news... That's a very short letter. Difficult. Help. Well... Looks like we're... Fuck! Whenever Hitagami turns up, there's something big on the horizon. Why is it taking so long for this meeting now? In what terms will he regret it, though? True. It's like the greater of two evils. True, I guess. Nothing majorly terrible happened here under Hitagami's tutelage, maybe? But the family's still out there suffering, and... Explain a little. At least give me something. Why? Also, I really like how Hitagami is this kind of ephemeral figure that you can't really make out, and is all in 3D compared to everything else. Just to make it that little extra odd. I mean, is it trickery, or is it just out of a little bit of entertainment? Is this trying to... Is this trying for Rudy to try and get a little more to say why he shouldn't be going over there? Well, after receiving the letter and everything. How much of this is all set in motion without his input into the world? Oh, just Hitagami knows that much? Well, should be looking after it by herself for a while, yeah. Whether he goes or not. I mean, that is life. We're trying to weigh up consequences of our actions without knowing any outcomes. Advice? Sure. Mating season? What's so spring? Excuse me? So, granted, this world may not be one of current standards of monogamy and the likes, but what kind of message is that giving out to him? Yeah, I wonder why he's not able to sleep soundly. Maybe talk it out with those around you and your beloved wife. Takes a year to get there. Right, so be gone, not know the birth of the child, or if there's any complications, and then on the way back as well. Great. Well, that's put some worries to the side. But is she going to accept that. I mean, if it was a lengthy letter putting out everything that was going wrong, then okay, sure, not immediate, but that just fucking help. What if? Right, with Hidegami telling him not go, Ellie needs to also be, yeah, don't. What's going to be that turning point? Of a future pope making these decisions for him. Although his unwavering support and loyalty to him, so yeah, sure, you'll be fine. Just do it. Nah, he's got his own shit. To be fair, having him along might be useful. That kind of grip strength. Damn it, he's looking for some sort of instruction here so that he doesn't have to have the decision on him. Well, that's reassuring. Hopefully, though, whatever happens, he doesn't miss too much time with them all. And also, hopefully, with this decision being quite heavy, he doesn't regret what he chooses, but also how long he chooses to decide. Didn't think they'd be fully asleep, especially after everything that was going on. I like this is a truly just very natural dilemma that he's struck with. That is she going to try and take his place if he's not going? Not the saucepan. There you go. Try and do something, can't just sit and wait. You're really strong. He's travelled before, he knows what it's like. And if someone somewhat as powerless as Norn is trying to stand up and do something on her own like that, the idea of that happy family life, having everyone here with him, will never happen if he doesn't reach out. But I'm guessing Hitagami's words of advice there and his regrets don't turn out an even bigger issue. Come back with good news swiftly. I think Turning Point is a good title for all this. But God, I feel so much to be levied at his feet. Having a family, his sisters come over, Paul sending them to him to be safe and secure, having an announcement of his wife is expecting, and now got to just drop all that. Okay, now he's off on a journey for several years on a quest that may be fruitless. It's already said, it's a year to get there. So how long did the letter take to reach him in the first place? How long has this issue and dilemma been around? And what awaits him at the end of it? If he's now heading out to Paul, where Kisa's sent off a letter saying, we're fucked, mate. We're completely screwed here. Is there going to be anything left? Granted, the OP showed that they're fighting all alongside one another, but was that just putting us into a false sense of adventure and security of what's coming up? I honestly could not tell. But hey, having so much in his life which he could not possibly have even imagined before, having a wife, a house, a cozy little family dynamic, I think small bits and pieces that seem so natural that we could all basically encounter in our lives. Split decisions, right? What's the best for not only his well-being, his family's well-being, and the future of all of them, their safety. I think every family goes through that sort of thinking at some point. But for it all to come crashing right now? If it was later on, when Sylvie was 7-8 months down the line, would that make it a much more difficult prospect for him to go off adventuring, to go and save his father and whatnot? I think it would. And not only because he'd now then lose like 2 years of this child's life. Still. But after Cliff has invented something interesting, still needs refining, but is it going to come in quite useful in the future? Is Eleni's going to give him a little extra time and not make rash decisions for him, even if he is a future pope? We've seen what happens when someone steps out and thinks what's for the best of them, whether it be personal growth or not. We've seen what happens before. It comes with years of medical issues, grand depression, and only just recently Rudy's been able to overcome it. That makes a question. When are we going to meet back up with her? Yeah, if we have a new grand adventure, stepping out back into his exploring boots, getting Rudy to once again be this grand mage and adventurer that we saw him as before. Is it going to be a moment of, oh shit, over the past few years he has kind of laxed on some of his learning and teachings and needs to touch up on a spell or two? And who's he going to bring along with him? Is it just going to be a one-man army, him rush in, or, like I think I gathered from that conversation between them, is it Eleni's going to come along? Anyone else want to join in on the fellowship? I mentioned it long ago, probably in season 1. I do like the small grain effect across all of the screens. It really brings it in cohesively, and oh, that's Mushoku Tensei. And it's not obtrusive enough where it distracts you constantly. Small bits like the rooms actually being dark rather than just lit with candles in the middle. No, it's like you've got the light source around the candles and everything else is kind of, dingy. Yeah, it would be. I like that. Small attention to detail, which proves how much attention is put into this. with a little bit of fantasy historical know-how and knowledge. What kind of natal care is there in this world? She said, went to the doctor to go check if things are okay. It's likely that she is expecting. Is there magic for morning sickness? Probably a little early to be questioning that one. But it's good to think ahead. Get things ready for whatever may come. Mushoku Tensei has a way of getting you to expect things from the story. Like, yeah, sure, having Sylvie be his wife, then living together, something like this is to be expected at least somewhere. But then implicating it with so much more really doesn't let things settle, does it? So, if you want to see more, I bet you want to come back. So, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out the next upload. Maybe even join my Discord so you get any notifications crop up pretty easily. But if I've said something that either entertained you, maybe a little thought-provoking, or you just want to see me smile giddily, although that probably won't happen anymore, that the happy couple were torn apart for this adventure. But if you want to show your love for this series, leave a like and a comment down below. Show YouTube that they're doing wrong by suppressing my channel. I need as much help as possible. And I will hopefully see you for the next one. For some reason, my patrons have jumped at the opportunity to try and help out my channel, even though it is a grand undertaking that probably distracts from your own lives. I really do have to thank each and every one of you, and especially to Sal, Guado, Kite, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else, because without you, I would not have the courage to make those hard decisions. And if you too would like to be a cornerstone of support, consider joining onto my Patreon as well.